thinking about the Mets last night and watching this debacle. Carlos Carrasco's way off. There's something wrong with him.
More excuses too from him too.
Yeah, I know, just way off. I mean, just way off. And he's giving up 4 runs in the first inning. Now he thought he got out of it a couple times, and maybe you need a break here, you need a break there. Call. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show you how great the Astros are. They're not going to be a pain in the neck to the Mets. Maybe today they will with Verlander, but really, truly moving forward, the only way you're going to see them is in the World Series.
Yeah.
They're going to be more of a Yankee pain in the neck than they will be at the Mets. But for the Mets, I keep saying 60 games before. You got to win 60 games before the All-Star game. Now, the Braves are within 4. They're playing the Phillies, so those two teams could be knocking each other off. But I do, it's really disappointing when you watch a really good team come in and totally dominate your team.
Yeah, this is now 3 straight games. And we're expecting a 4th now, too.
Right. It hasn't even been close. And it goes to show you that, Houston, over the last 5 years, has made the right choice in keeping the right players. Somehow, they find more players that are able to go out there and, continue to play at an extremely high level, especially within their pitching staff. And then to think that, Verlander has been gone for, a year and a half, and now is back to his old self. Makes you wonder, like, as a Met fan, are we ever going to get Jacob deGrom back? Is he ever going to be able to return to the form that he was? Because that's ultimately what's going to take. It's going to take Scherzer and deGrom at the top of the rotation. And, it's going to take, a kind of re-emphasis on, at the trade deadline, figuring out ways to improve this team to be able to play with the Astros if, in fact, your goal is the World Series.
Yeah, it just seems like baby steps with deGrom. I don't know if you feel any concern about the Max Scherzer getting pushed back. He was supposed to pitch yesterday, and then it gets pushed back a day. I mean, Buck Showalter is unbelievable at finding ways to convince people that nothing bad is going on when he talks.
Well, it's part of the experience.
Right, so he was able to do that, at least for me, when he was talking about is right where he needs to be. We're not going to rush it. We're going to give him an extra day, but obviously it's a little bit concerning that he feels like he needs an extra day, and he came out of that rehab start feeling sore. But yeah, with deGrom, it's just like, it's tiny baby steps, and I feel like because they got off to such a great start with both of these guys, they're making sure, as they should, they're making sure that they are 100%, not even an iota of doubt that they are 100% healthy before they come back. And the problem is, though, that the longer you go without those guys, the more exposed the rotation that's left behind is, and you're seeing guys like Carrasco just completely fall apart. Bassett had his little down stretch. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to keep it together.
And McGill is hurt again,
right,
and they have no answer for him. So they'll make – look, they're going to add. You know that. I know that. And Steve Cohen is not going to sit back.
But when, though? That's the problem because, we've got until the end of July with the trade deadline. But, I mean, they need help now. They need help in the rotation now, and they need help in the lineup now. And I just don't know if, this is the time I think you overpay at this point because you want to get a jump on things. And I'm sure that Billy Epler and Steve Cohen and Sandy, they don't want to do that. But I feel like they need to. This is now the time. Like, let's get it moving and bring some people in here.
The other thing that's going to be really interesting, I mean, if Jacob deGrom opts out of his contract, thinking he's going to get a big new contract after all of this, as much as I admire and like him, I mean, that's also insulting. Guy can't stay on a field.
Well, it depends what he does if he comes back and when he comes back. It sort of depends.
If he comes back. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable how brittle he has become.
Yeah.
And, look, we all want him back. We all feel like we need him back, and it's unfortunate that he's continuing to get hurt. But, it's like all these Met pitchers – they always get hurt, and they get not only do they get hurt, they get hurt like to the point where it's like, what, are they ever coming back?
And he was the one guy that was reliable. I mean, he was the guy that you would use as an example of someone. Hey, look, he's staying healthy, he's out there, he's the workhorse, and then obviously it has changed dramatically since then. So yeah, I mean, you cannot count on him. But the thought of him coming back is still very, very enticing. I mean, if he comes back and gives you a number of really great starts in the regular season and then has an awesome postseason, that money is just going to be crazy. It's going to be insane.
So you're going to have 10 games after today's game against the Astros. Mm-hmm. You're going to have 10 straight games. You're going to be playing Texas, Cincinnati, and Miami. In those 10 games, you got to go 8-2, 7-3 at
Got to
worst.
beef up.
And then comes Atlanta at Atlanta, and then you have 4 at the Cubs. Can they get to 60 wins before the break? Can they get to 60 wins by July 17th? That is, for me, is the question. They're 47 right now. They got 47.
Right. So you need 13 out of what? How many?
So you have the 10 that goes to the Marlins. So you have 11 there. You have 13, 14, 21 games. 21 games. So
it's possible, of course. 13 and
8.
And 8. Yeah. I mean, that's possible.
They got to be better than that. I think they really have to be better than that. I think this little last run here before, if they want to stay ahead of the Braves comfortably, and comfortably is like 5 or more. I don't think 4 is comfortable.
Yeah, I know. You love that number 5 with the lead.
Right, they get those they get those 3 games at the Braves right before the break. 3 games at the Braves and 4 games at the Cubs. Can you get to 60 wins? And then maybe, just maybe, after the All-Star break, maybe Scherzer has made a start before that or 2 starts before that, and maybe after the All-Star break, they're ready to bring back Jacob deGrom. And then they can make a second-half run, and they can refortify the team with a trade or 2, and then go from there. But right now, it's just because it's the Astros and how the Astros have bludgeoned the Mets.
Oh, they're totally overmatched.
Games.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in their league.
It goes to show you how far, like, as good as they've been.
Yeah. They got a long way to go.
They got a long way to go, and that's the reality of where they are right now. And look, we're in the middle of the season. It's you're getting ready to hit the dog days of July, but this is it's kind of like an alarm moment. Okay, guys, here we are. We're playing against the best team, I believe, the best team in baseball, and that's saying a lot because they gave the Yankees fits too. Let's face it, they held them hitless for 18 innings or something. So. Even though the Yankees had the best record in baseball, even though the Yankees are 18-2 in their last 20 at home, 2 of those losses came to this team.
Yeah, and it could have been worse if you think about it. You know, if it wasn't for big comebacks and the 2 wins that they had.
You're damn straight. So I'm telling you right now, the Astros right now, as we sit here, are the best team in baseball. They are.
Come on.
They are.
It's the Yankees. What are you, nuts?
No, you can again.
The Yankees split with them still. You can't tell me that the Astros are the best team in baseball. The Yankees had the 6th best record to start a season in 75 games in the history of baseball.
Yeah, they're bludgeoning teams like the Pirates and the Tigers, and they're doing the things that they're supposed to. And I don't want to take anything away from them. They're great. But I don't know, man. Houston is going to be they're going to see each other in the ALCS.
Well, yeah.
And that's where it's going to come down to. And if the Yankees' bats go silent,
well, that's the fear.
Get ready for that.
Because that's the fear. We've seen that. You saw it in the series for those 18 innings, as we talked about. But I cannot say that any team is better than the Yankees this season. There's just no way. I mean, they're breaking all sorts of records. I mean, they're doing things that you never see. I mean, it's rare.
They are. The Yankees are a top 2 or 3 team in the league. There's no question about that. But when you put the 2 teams on the field together,
well, I mean, split in the series.
I know used to get off to a bad start this season that wasn't great, and now all of a sudden they have just come to New York and said, "Screw you guys."
I think what's going on is you've seen them against the Mets and them bludgeoning the Mets, and that's given you a little bit of, this idea that they're better than the Yankees.
What was it, 16 and a half, 18 innings of no-hit ball?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I saw that too.
Okay, but I mean, the totality of the series, if we're talking about a 7-game playoff series, by the end of it, it would have been 2-2 going into a Game 5. So, I mean, and just the totality of the way the Yankees have won this year. I mean, even if you look at it, yesterday, it ends up being Marwin Gonzalez and Trevino that come up and are the offensive heroes in that game.
Pirates.
It's not the Pirates, the A's we're talking
about. The A's.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
the A's are just as bad as the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean,
the Pirates have some exciting players for God's sake.
They beat up these teams. We were all over the Yankees last year for not taking care of the Orioles, and now they're taking care of the bad teams. So, I mean, they're taking care of everybody. I mean, yeah, they split with the Astros, but I mean, they beat the Rays, they beat the Blue Jays, they beat the teams in their division.
Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. It's a great regular season.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, I know what it's coming down. We all know what it's coming down to. It's not just me. We all do.
You shouldn't be saying that the Astros are better than the Yankees.
They're a better team. Right now, they're a better team.
Why do you say that?
They just are.
They don't have a better record, and they just split.
They
just because they beat up on the Mets because the Mets are inferior to the Astros,
they're a good team.
Doesn't mean that the Astros are better than the Yankees.
They're a really good team.
I know they're a really good team.
It doesn't really matter whether they're better than the Yankees right now or not. It doesn't matter.
But I mean, the Yankees deserve some respect here.
Well, we give respect every single day. I told you they're 18-2 in their last 20 at home.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty awesome.
A little disrespect for the Yankees.
Home field advantage.
I think you're disrespecting
I'm not
the Yankees.
disrespecting the Yankees. I'm just telling you that the Astros are better.
A little disrespect.
You don't think the Yankees are going to try to, get better at the trade deadline?
I'm sure they will, and so will the Astros, of course. But, I mean, the sixth best start in Major League Baseball history.
I know, but, man, you saw the Astros up close and personal.
Yeah.
They are just ripping the Mets. Oh
I know.
God.
Well, the Mets are just not in the same class is what it comes down to.
And the Mets had plenty of chances last night.
Yeah, but when you're down like that early, it just doesn't feel like you have any. And they've come back this year.
Last night about J.D. Davis hitting the ball harder than everybody. Like 61% of his hits are like 95 miles an hour or more off the bat.
Yeah, what does that mean when you hit 243?
All I know is that leads that category in the majors. He's hitting the ball more. I guess you'd have to look at the numbers harder than just that number. I guess you can create a number any way you want, but I couldn't believe that number. I couldn't believe he actually led both leagues in that category.
Yeah, I mean,
he's ahead of Aaron Judge. He hits the ball harder than Aaron Judge.
On Monday, you were giving me OPS numbers, and you wanted to make a list. And now this morning, you're talking about the hard hit rate.
I thought that was interesting when I saw that. I thought that was interesting.
It's not interesting at all because the guy doesn't get any hits.
Al, is that interesting or not?
Somewhat interesting, but it's like when they say how the exit velo for a home run, it still is just a home run. It's like.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like some guys get up there and they dribble the ball to shortstop or third base or whatever. J.D. Davis is hitting the ball at 95 miles an hour or more off the bat, 61% of the time.
And you said he's got a higher whatever that stat is than Aaron Judge.
Yes.
So what we're saying here this morning
one stat in Major League Baseball.
J.D. Davis is better than Aaron Judge, and the Astros are better than the Yankees.
Well, I didn't say that, but I just said
that.
The thing about J.D. Davis, he's got to hit it where they ain't. He keeps hitting it to them.
Okay. You think that's going to change then? Like all of a sudden his luck's going to change?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Look,
I've seen enough of him.
An interesting stat. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Interesting
All right?
You've never thought baseball minutia was interesting. Ever. Until this week.
Well, I was sick last week.
Yeah, I guess it did change some
Was there a baseball stat magazine on the helicopter?
No. I didn't take a helicopter, so stop.
You drove?
No, I didn't drive. No, I mean, listen, you know how far away that is? And by the way.
Did you fly Frontier?
Yeah, Frontier. Backwards. And, the other thing, too, and I told you this was happening. All right, we made fun of the Knicks on I know we're going to talk about it.
We got 3 hours and 45 minutes to go.
But again, here's the second level of decisions, or the second set of decisions now that they're making. And I know you pointed it out earlier that what's his name, Brunson better be like this all-star point guard. But meanwhile, you got Donovan Mitchell running around New York City with Emmanuel Quickly.
Yeah, I know. And there's other things that he has done that's really made you think that he wants out.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.